We're going live. Hey, we're live. Hi, Jen Barkin.
Hey, Mike Lyon.
All right. Well, I say we're getting on early, but it is, right at the top of the
It's
hour.
time
So,
to go.
welcome everybody to Do You Convert Live, episode number 498, if we're counting in
We're,
Bitcoin,
yeah, yeah.
I guess. I'm Mike Lyon.
And I'm Jen Barkin.
We're with Do You Convert. We are always excited to jump on with you and talk about the latest things that are happening in our industry, specifically online sales, our favorite part of the home building industry. We hold everybody so near and dear
Oh,
to our hearts. So, hello, everybody. If you're here, say hello. Or if you speak multiple languages like Corey, you can say hola. So, yes, hello, Corey. Good to see you.
hey, Corey. Yeah, make sure you comment so that we know you're here. Say hello. Before we get into our topic today, Mike, you just did some revenge conferencing with our with our friends Jeff Shore and Company. So
Yes.
talk about it. How was it
I
in
sure did.
person?
Well, if you guys remember last time on the live, Jen was very concerned about if she's going to be able to operate and interact with
Yeah.
people in real life.
Like socially awkward situations, right? Would it
Yeah.
be socially awkward?
Yep. So I said, no, you'll be fine. Go get some practice. Well, I was able to get some practice, and it was just what my conferencing soul needed. It was so fun. So I was in Nashville. Yes, I got to go attend the Jeff Shore Sales Leadership Summit with him and his team. So a couple of fun things. One, I got to talk on stage just for a little bit about kind of what's going on in online sales and what that means for online sales leaders. So that was fun. I got to kind of hang out with him and behind the scenes and watch how his crew does it. So I've been a part of his events before, but I didn't have like I'm a conference putter on her hat and my attendee hat. So I was very deliberate
Yeah.
in trying to get some intel and feedback and what they do. They put on a fantastic show, which is great. So a lot of things that we can learn and apply to our conference. They were in the Gaylord Nashville. We're in the Gaylord in Dallas. So it was fun. And I think the biggest thing though, Jen and everybody
What?
else, and if you were there,
What?
say hi. I know we saw a couple of folks there that are good friends, and a lot of our clients were there too. But everybody was so excited to be like there, like we're here, like we're
Like out of
together.
the Zoom coma and
Yes,
in person live?
three-dimensional. Like
Right.
it was like zzz, like you got that like buzz, and it was great. And I don't think it was just the cocktail reception. So we had a fantastic time. It was good to see everybody. Not a single mask, by the way. Like, not to comment on COVID or any of that stuff, but it felt like super normal. There were some challenges with like staffing and stuff like that from a hotel
Yeah.
standpoint, which we're seeing that everywhere in retail. But
Right.
beyond that, easy to overlook. I couldn't get into my bathroom. My bathroom was locked in my hotel room, but don't worry, folks, I figured it out. So yeah, it was great. The other thing too, Jen, we saw some good friends. Kendall Barnes was there from
Ooh,
Hartford Homes,
Kendall.
so she was repping online sales. Tiffany Fox was there from Mungo. She was repping online sales. But out of the 300 or so people that were there, and there were another, I don't know how many people were attending virtually,
Hmm.
but a very small percentage of online sales. Now, I'm not knocking. This has nothing to do with the Shore Conference
Yeah.
or the conference in general. What my point I'm making, let me see if you guys are tracking. Thumbs up if you're tracking. For a sales leadership summit, we don't have a lot of online sales leadership being represented. And so that was kind of like a hey, this is creating 50+% of sales. Why do we not have more
Right.
representation?
Hmm.
So, I don't know, something for 2021 and beyond. Hi, Tasha. Good to see you. Lindsay's giving us a thumbs up. Lindsay, the Davidson team
Hey,
is there in full
Lindsay.
force. I wish you were there, but your Davidson team was representing. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's kind of the update from there.
Yeah.
Shore's big thing was pivot. Don't pause, pivot. And we've been talking
Hmm.
about that being adaptable. And one big takeaway for me was just the rapid skill development. I mean, I loved how they talked
Yeah.
about that, where we've got new skills we need to form as
Yeah.
leaders and people who are committed to this industry. Make sure that you are
Hmm.
constantly,
Old
uh,
skills we need to relearn, right?
yeah,
Yeah, old
absolutely.
skills. Well, I'm excited. That makes me hopeful for our summit that's next month, which we are so excited to see everybody and be in person with everybody as well. So we're really looking forward to that. Today, we want to talk to you guys about, market fatigue,
Mm,
kind of how to stay motivated when we are kind of in this uncertain times right now. I think we can all agree the past 6 months have been, some of the hardest in our industry that that we've experienced. Specifically online sales, when we talk about, it's like Groundhog Day every single day of, leads, response, maybe a lackluster availability of appointments and sales constantly, disappointment police. All of this combined together can equal some market fatigue. I know that I've certainly felt that, myself as well. And, this combined with the uncertainty of what's going to happen in our market for the next 6 months, what's going to happen with interest rates, pricing, availability, all of that kind of creates, a situation. As Mike from Jersey Shore, anybody watch that? We got a situation here, So how do we stay motivated when we have this type of situation?
yeah.
So I want to ask all of you guys that. What motivates you? I want you to comment. What motivates you in your job? When you think about that, getting up, daily grind, what keeps you motivated? So I want you to think about that. As you're thinking about that and typing it out, I want to ask you, Mike, first.
Yeah.
What motivates you?
Well, I just commented. I'm using this tool. I don't know if I did it the right way. Oh, it's Do You Convert commented. So that's me. That's Mike. Do You Convert. But like now in Do You Convert world, and what I do as an
Yeah,
online sales coach and working with Jen and everybody is seeing others succeed. Like that's my number
right.
one motivation, is seeing others succeed. When I was an online sales specialist, it was money first. That's why I show up at the job. But then like
Yeah.
being seen as an expert. I was really like, I wanted to be an
Mm-hmm.
expert.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember the quote that I read in one of Seth Godin's book. I got to get to it. Um, uh, if you're not the best in the world at what you do, then you have to get better, right?
Mm.
And he kind of had this whole concept of you have the opportunity to do something and be the best in the world at it. And that's what drove me. And I think that's kind of what kind of
Yeah.
started it. And then whenever that
Yeah.
for me, it was being an expert in my field and what I
Yeah.
do. What about you, Jen?
Yeah. So as an online sales specialist, what motivated me was the get, like going after it, the conversion, like getting that win of an appointment and then seeing that person go to sale and being able to follow and help them through the process. That was
Yeah.
definitely the motivator for me, which in turn, equaled money as well because, you're seeing those appointments and sales turn into money for yourself. As a coach, absolutely what motivates me is, hearing back from people that, hey, you really helped me with that. Like that made an impact on me, their success, them reaching their goals and getting better. Absolutely. That is 100% why Mike and Jesse and I do what we do for sure.
Yeah, we got some good
So
ones coming
we've,
here. Alan says
yeah,
seeing people who've been on the interest list since the winter go to contract, right?
yes,
This one from Hayden here, hearing a lead tell me I helped them and their time was well worth the call with me. Oh, and this is
yes.
Catherine here. Hi, Catherine. Right? I like what Casey says here. One, money, and two, making a substantial contribution percentage to sales. That's good. I mean, I think you
Yeah,
could. Someone once said, I can't remember who it was, Jen. You might remember, but lead with the numbers. So you can be a leader in your role in your position, um, because you can lead with those numbers. So I think that's great.
yeah, absolutely. So this last 30 days, we've been asking our online sales specialists this very question. We wanted to share with you some of the top responses that we've received. So Mike and I are just going to kind of go through these back and forth. The first one is like some of you are saying here, helping our customers and seeing that lead go through to appointment from sale. In fact, when I asked them this question and they started talking about that, their eyes just lit up with
Mm-hmm.
excitement and saying, I love the conversion. I love seeing that my work, go through from interest to lead to conversion. Not necessarily about the numbers.
Right.
As we know, the numbers are so crazy right now. So not necessarily about the numbers, but the actual thrill of the next step. And I just want to say in this particular market, there is always a next step. The next step might not be necessarily
Mm-hmm.
an appointment right
Right.
now, but helping somebody understand, educating them on the process, helping them understand what their next step is, and kind of guiding them through this craziness, whatever it is, you guys are helping them. So, don't want you to think that you're not helping somebody because you weren't necessarily able to get them to a home right now. You're
Yeah.
still helping them in all of those particular areas. And, the biggest challenge that we're hearing from you guys is right now, you know, there's a resistance in some cases to move forward because of pricing, because of an unknown time frame, or because somebody needs a home right now and you have specs that are going to be released at some point, or you have to be builds at some point in the future but you're not sure when. And so
Yeah.
that can for sure present huge challenges. So having those dialogues ready to go with how to overcome those objections, we're starting to see objections again. And we didn't necessarily have them in 2020, when everybody and anybody could get an appointment that wanted an appointment. And so now it's going to start getting a little bit harder. So you're going to have to start practicing overcoming those objections again.
Yeah, you're gonna hear. We're already hearing it, and people are talking about it. But you're gonna hear. I think I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. I
Yeah.
don't want to buy at the top of the market. The prices are going down.
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand how to even talk through that because a lot of people are getting caught off guard, going, "Well, technically speaking, they are buying at the top of the market,
Right.
but if they have to buy, what is the opportunity cost of waiting? Because let's say prices even do go down, if interest rates go up, you're still going to be in the same spot as far as a monthly payment. So
Going to
understanding as
level
online
out.
sales how to manage
Mm-hmm.
that, that's that what Jeff was talking about his team, rapid skill development. We got to develop new language and
Mm-hmm.
dialogues around objections that we're not used to hearing, right? We haven't heard them
Mm-hmm.
since 2010, similar types of objections. The next one a lot of people were talking about was pride of work, which this is good.
I love that
And
one.
Jesse Suggs, shout out Jesse, our online sales coach. This was a big one to her when she was in the role.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a great one. You want what motivates you when you're not so motivated internal. That external motivation is I want everybody to be proud. This is kind of how she explained it. Be proud of what I'm doing, and I want to be proud of what I'm doing. Yeah, it's hard to make a bunch of calls when you got a bunch of rejections all in a row, or doing things that seem like it's not benefiting uh, the role, or cleaning up a database. That sounds super fun, right, Jen? I love list
Hey,
hygiene. Man, that's great.
least glamorous thing that we do, right?
But pride of work, quality. That's the we've been talking about this over and over again. 2021, the word was quality. There's ways to provide value and quality in that, and like even prospecting right now is not necessarily about the appointments, but that list hygiene. You're prospecting to say, are you in or out of the market? They may not be moving forward, but we need to know, are they in or out of the market? Now, why is that so important? Everybody pay attention. Give me a thumbs up, a like, or something to let me know you are locked in. This is an important concept.
We're locked
When you're
in.
sitting there and you're drained and you don't want to prospect and do any more list hygiene, you got to understand the data and the information you are giving back up to marketing is telling marketing, okay, guys, we think we have leads, but
Mm.
we actually don't have convertible leads right now. A lot of people are using this warehouse of leads that we've created and saying, yeah, we're good. And you, as an online sales specialist who's in connection with them all, say, we're not good because I'm talking to them all and nobody wants to set appointments.
Oh,
Or I've called those 30 people on that priority list, and this time around, only one person goes, yeah, maybe. That's
Yeah.
the information you have to give back. It's not a negative, it's actually a positive. And that pride of work and getting in and digging deep for this weird period that we're gapping out of stuff is going to be crucial. Would you agree with that, Jen?
Oh my gosh. So, guys, this is so, so important right now because listen, so many
Preach.
people were dumped. Yeah, so many people have just been, flooding your database. And more than likely, they've either moved on or they are not your buyers anymore. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like we're in a new market. Like we're in
Yeah.
a new market right now, with price increase. So what Mike is saying is so important. And this is how you guys add that value to your organization right now. Was talking with somebody the other day that said, yeah, like I'll do prospecting, but like, what am I even saying? Like, why, if I don't have any place to move them yet, why do I need to call? Verify interest, touch base, connect. Listen, I've been testing this out with some of my online sales specialists just to call and say, I know you weren't expecting my call today, but I just wanted to call and check on you and see how you're doing. People appreciate that. And then you can move them forward or move them off your radar, right? It's hugely important.
Which, hang
Okay,
on, hang on. This
yeah,
is what we would call a transitory recommendation because just
yeah,
calling to check in is our like most
right.
hated phrasing. But actually,
I
right now,
know.
it's like I really did
Yeah,
just want to see. Tell me where you're at
right,
in your home search.
right,
How are things going? Just by asking how are
right.
things going, you're going to get the whole buyer fatigue story that Bobby
Yeah,
Carroll's talking about right here. Listen, make no
yes,
mistake. If you're trying to buy a car or a home right now, it is a miserable experience.
yeah,
We can talk about the customer journey all day long, but they have no choice and there's no availability. It's painful. It's
yes.
miserable. Go try and buy a car. It's absolutely miserable.
Yes.
All right, sorry, keep
Okay,
going.
the
I
third, no,
digress.
no, no. The third thing that we heard when we asked this question was, feeling valued by your organization,
Yeah.
right? Sense of belonging, culture, all of those things. Listen, online sales is in the spotlight right now. We came
Yeah.
out last time we were on here with our first quarter numbers, 52% online sales contribution. Woohoo!
Wait, I
Right?
got a DJ air horn. I think I can play it. Sound effects, Kevin
Whoa.
Oakley. Stick that in your
We're
sound
we're
machine,
moving up in the
Oakley.
world. We're moving up in the world.
Yes.
Now is your time to shine, right? In your organization. This is so, so crucial and huge. Um, but don't get complacent, right? Don't get complacent. Don't get lazy. Don't get slack, right? There's still a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, that's a motivator. There's always something to do. There is always something to do. So when you feel like, oh man, it's really slow, you know what? You feel a little lull, feeling like things, what do I do? Guys, there's always something to do. Listen, let's start plugging back in some of the fun stuff. Video email. We're kind of doing it, but we got away from it because we didn't have the time, bandwidth. We couldn't get out on site, all those things. Guys, have fun, get out on site, plug back in your personalization to your follow up. Um, Add the 3 calls back in to your short term follow up process.
Hang
Use
on, hang on.
Mike's got the big. Did you forget video?
Look at
Yeah.
that. I just did that right now.
Yes. Use the big app.
Use the big app.
BIG. Old school whiteboard. Whatever. A sheet of paper. I don't care.
An
No,
iPad, a sheet
an
of paper.
iPad.
Hey, actually, I like
I
what
mean,
Meredith does with all of her post-it notes. She's got some serious stuff happening in those post-it
exactly.
notes.
Exactly. So listen, have some fun with it. Add the personalization back in. If I see somebody send out a day one email with no personalization in it, I'm going to come find you and I'm going to come hunt you down. Right? We've got to start adding that stuff back in.
Yep.
Refresh your follow-up templates.
Sure.
During COVID and pandemic, we removed some of the language, of the fast answers and things like that. If you are back to a normal amount of leads and you can start really diving back in with people, add that stuff back in, refresh your templates, add your call to actions back in if it makes sense, asterisks, if it makes sense, and start making those outbound calls. Like I was saying, if you're like, I don't really know what to say, it's a checking in and practice. We
Right.
have we have been in reactionary mode, right? So long that when we have this little bit of a lull, it seems like, we get kind of in that market fatigue slump, which is what we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
So pick up the phone. It makes a huge impact. And again, part of your job is to be that customer representative for your organization, and you're that front facing person in most cases. So now's the time to do some outreach. Super, super critical.
Yes. I'd love to hear from you guys. We got some good comments coming in. Thank you. Bobby's talking about Vidyard. Yes, the Vidyard
Oh yeah.
video email is definitely another option. I forget what the light version's called. It comes with HubSpot, which is cool.
Vidyard
Bomb
Go.
bombs are a big one for us, obviously, too. We love them. Bomb bomb's coming out with
Mm-hmm.
a new book, by the way. Check this out. Ethan, and you saw it here first. Look at this copy. What is this called? It was called a agency's advanced reader's copy, uncorrected proof, not for resale. I think I'm gonna put this on eBay. They say don't put it for resale,
Ooh.
but what do you think I can get for it? But human-centered communication, a business case against digital pollution. It's a good read. Just wait for it. It's coming out soon. But the point of all that is, we saw a lot of sales automation happening, checking the
Yeah.
box. I mean, listen, I'm in the market for a car right now. We're starting to be in the market for a car. You guys will probably hear the full story later. But I'm getting these just baloney emails where I signed up for certain things. I'm like, wow, there's zero people monitoring my entry into the CRM. This is the dumbest stuff I've
Right.
ever seen. And it's coming from Audi of all places. Like, you're supposed to be a luxury car company. This is terrible. Like,
Right.
just check the box and see that I've already test drove an e-tron. Already drove it. You don't need to ask
Mm-hmm.
me if I need to test drive an e-tron again. So anyway, good stuff. All
Yeah.
right. Hey, thanks, Bobby. Bobby's trying to get us to do some give. I don't think it's out yet officially.
Oh,
Bobby
Bobby
says
wants
that would
a
be make a
book.
great giveaway. That's good.
Oh.
Bobby's gonna be our hype girl, giving things away. He can do it. All right. What do we got next, Jen? I'm
What was the
going. I'm
last
scrolling
one?
down our list. Oh,
Yes.
last but
Money.
not least, right? The
Yeah.
financial motivators. I kind of talk about this at the beginning. We did this survey live, and Jen was like, it's interesting to do the poll where people weren't, it was kind of anonymous versus live,
Yeah.
because we went around our roundtable that we do. We do roundtables every month with different groups, and there's 20 plus online salespeople on each one of these.
Yeah.
And it was all kind of pride of work and, bringing value to the company and helping customers. But when you do the poll digitally, right, anonymously, like, financial is up higher there. So listen,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a given. Like, we work a job for money. If we
Right.
didn't need the money, we would volunteer and we do something else.
No.
So, however, I'm big on this. Like, I'm motivated by money. I've been motivated by money for since I was a kid. I remember telling a story just last night. I went on a walk and there were 2 quarters on the ground on the street. I picked them up and Corey goes, "That's gross," and I go, "That's 50 cents. What are you talking about?" And I remember like finding change as a child in the couch and in the car. And one time, like, I think I was in first or second grade, and there was a $20 bill in a field, and I thought I won the freaking lottery. Like, I've always
Yeah.
been money driven, right? And a lot of people are. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not a bad
Exactly.
thing. We
Don't
need
be
those people in
ashamed.
the world.
Yeah.
But money is usually what gets you into a job, but it's not what keeps you in the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I always think of your financial situation as the yardstick of measurement of your success, right? So usually in a performance-based role, the
Mm-hmm.
more money you make, the better you're doing in your role. Okay. So use that as like, hey, I want to make some money, but then also get to the why are you making money? You're making money to fuel your lifestyle, your investments, your
Right.
giving, everything else that you want to do, a legacy that you're creating, a college that you're paying for, that new car that you've never been able to purchase before. By the way, don't do it now. Terrible time. My first house, something I want to own, the vacation that I wanted to go to. So money's great, but don't just look at the number. Look at what does that number
Right.
equal, right?
And I this last 18 months, we have traded in our sales hat for more of a customer representative type of role. Like we've talked about, that's kind of, this position is kind of morphed into that. But we can't forget that ultimately you are in a sales role in the new home industry, right? This is an inside sales position. And so, just remember that. And if money is a motivator, and listen, motivations can change. It's like the seasons, right? Like Mike was saying, might be what gets you in the door, but not what keeps you there. But, right now I might be motivated by money more because I'm sending two kids to college. So your situations may change, but use that to fuel that sales, drive and hustle that is deep in there somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not saying that being the customer representative is not important, because gosh, we just talked about why it is important and valuable in your organization, but we got to get back to the get on some things. And as things change, just like Jeff was talking about with Mike, pivoting, relearning some of those skills, getting back into those, overcoming those objections, and focusing more on our pipeline and moving people forward.
Um, Jen, Jeff Shore's commenting. Can you see it when I put this
Oh
up on the screen?
my gosh, I see it now. Yes.
Okay. So first of all, let's talk about a profile picture bait, is what we call it. He's got grandkids as his profile picture. Come on, Jeff. Powers are useless against that. Give him a big light, because he basically summed up what I was trying to say in a very good quote from him. You're compensated in direct proportion to the value you bring. And so that
Mm-hmm.
really is like money as a yardstick. I love that. So thank you, Jeff, for jumping in.
Yeah.
I think you should be on a retreat. Aren't you on a silent retreat right now? What's going? Is this you, Jeff? Is this really you? Um, yeah, get back to the get. Lindsay says she really likes that one. Thank you, Lindsay, for jumping on. But we've atrophied. Let's just
Yeah.
put it. We're kind of, some people are in summer mode, and that's the world that we live in. Now we're
Right.
coming out of summer mode. And listen, that
Right.
fatigue is what we've heard directly from customers. Like, before I was locked in my house and trapped and trying to figure out a better situation. Now I'm just kind of, the world is open and I've got other things that distract me besides trying to
Right.
move, which moving is
Right.
painful in general, right? Getting a
Yeah.
friggin' mortgage is painful. Trying to refinance your home is painful. It's 93 days for me, Jen, on refinancing these investment properties. It's
What?
93 days and they cannot figure this out,
Are you
right?
fatigued?
Oh, I told him I'm
Are you
done.
fatigued?
Like, you got till the end of the week. If I can't do it, I'm done, and give me all my money back for the appraisal. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah.
the point is, your job for the foreseeable future, right? For like the next month, or maybe it's 60 days, is to stay with it, stay with those customers, and
Yeah.
make sure that they know you care and you're not ignoring them. And then they'll come back to you when they need you and when you need them. I think that'll be important. All right. So,
Yeah.
Jen, we're going to wrap up a couple things that we're opening the lines up to questions and answers.
Ooh.
So if you've got a question, a big burning topic, an objection you don't know how to answer, a problem that you're dealing with, trying to figure out, should I take this other job with this other builder or not? Actually, don't put that on. Let us know. You can just comment real quick on the feed and we'll look at it and we'll answer your question live. But Jen, we'll kind of wrap up the commentary portion of this Facebook Live and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, listen, this is real. Like, we are here to acknowledge that we understand if you're experiencing this market fatigue. Totally get it. Totally get why you are experiencing it. I think everybody is, right? Even our buyers and managers, on sites, everybody in our ecosystem. Um, but when you start feeling that way, we have to take a step back and shift our perspective and ask yourself that very question. What is motivating me right now to get up and do my job to the best that I can do? So figure that out first. And then whatever it is, focus on that. Focus on that very thing. And you will come out on the other side of this feeling so much better. Whatever you put out there into the universe will come back to you in good return. So,
You're
Mike,
such you're
what?
as the Jen Barkin, the sage, the online sales whisperer. Hey, couple of reminders to all of you out there. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
thank you to everybody who submitted for Market Proof Awards.
Oh,
Winners
yes.
to be announced soon. So that was fun to do that data driven awards. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, crawl
Yes.
out from that rock you're under.
Mm-hmm.
Second, the Nationals just opened their awards. If you're on
Yes.
this Facebook stream, you better be freaking submitting to the Nationals Online Sales Specialist of the Year, Online Sales Team of the
Team.
Year.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there. A lot of people are so chicken to submit. And I know some of these winners who won before. You should submit. If they can win, you guys on this can win. So, and Jen
Absolutely.
won. Jen's a 2-time winner.
Yeah. Even if
So
Jen can do it,
even
you can
Jen
do
can
it.
do it. Geez, I don't know.
Jeez,
We
who are these judges?
she's falling down, breaking things, slipping and falling.
Okay. Okay.
All right, anyway.
Okay.
Hey,
Easy.
so here's a question. Oh gosh, this takes up the whole screen. I'm getting increase in realtors reaching out with 0 clients but want to preview our models. Okay. Yeah, that's a great question. You so first of all, let's always zoom out. If you if you participate in anything that I do, like you probably get tired of hearing me say, let's zoom out, right? Let's zoom out at the end goal or the total strategy or philosophy. Appointment equals buyer, right? With a realtor, without a realtor, on their own, it doesn't matter. An appointment only happens with the prospect. So a preview for the future prospect is never counted as an appointment. So what I would do is
Right.
just make sure, one, you have a way to facilitate that. Two, don't do it during busy times and take up the salespeople's time. And three, stay in touch with them, but you're really just nurturing a realtor relationship. So yeah, realtors are super desperate right now still, because even though inventory's gone up by like 1.4% this last month, and they still don't have enough inventory for even if every realtor wanted to sell a home, they couldn't do it right now, right?
Mhm.
So that's good. Oh, Jennifer
That's a
is
good.
under a rock. Just kidding, Jennifer. If you're also new to this, you'll also be new to my sarcasm. Market Proof Awards are awards that we started this past 4 or 5 months ago. I think
Mhm.
submission started 2 months ago, where it's data driven awards. So just go check out marketproofawards.com. Ooh, I don't know if that's the right address.
Marketproofawards.com.
If
Yep.
someone in the stream from Do You Convert knows that, could you type that in? That's terrible. I'm sorry. Oh yes,
Speaking of, I
Diane is
just want to
saying
say,
submit.
I want to say, just what you're talking about realtors too, is that, if you're not putting them in your database, you really should. So if you're getting those realtors call in, you should still put them in your database and cultivate a list that you can reach out to for realtors. So when you
Yeah.
do have something to update them on, community comes up, whatever, spec homes released, whatever it is, you have that database of people. A lot of times we don't put them in our database and we just pass them on or give them the information and whatever. So everybody in the CRM. Okay.
Oh, yes. Let's get back to some of the fundamentals. Thank you there, Jen. And I do just want to say I was correct in the URL. So, oh, thank you, Jackie. She just commented too.
What was
Jackie, I
it?
went and
We had it
grabbed it.
wrong?
No, I was right.
Oh, okay.
I always like to compliment myself
Oh, I
on
thought
getting
you
things
said
right.
you were corrected, like
No,
somebody
I was
corrected you.
correct.
You
I
were
was
correct.
correct.
Okay. Good job. High five.
Yes. Thanks, guys. Thanks. That's good. Okay, other questions, fire them up. That's great. Insane metrics via email marketing when we release homes. Of course, listen, if you put yourself on the list to buy a Ford F-150 Lightning, all right? So I'm one of all the people buying a Ford
Are
F-150
you on the
Lightning
list?
for $100. If someone were to say like, we have a Lightning available, you'd be like, what? Like I'm on the list on GMC Authority and Ford Authority just to figure out when they're going to get chips for the trucks that they're going to release to send to the city. And everyone that comes in, I'm opening up and like, are they coming? Do we have trucks yet? So yeah, anything with product that people want, yeah, email results are going to be through the roof. Absolutely. But what we've seen,
Absolutely.
recently was a dip in web traffic. And now Kevin has even said like it's going back up. And we thought
Yeah,
it would kind of keep going down. So I just think it's again buyer curiosity. Everybody's just hoping
that's
things are
right.
going to change, asking when things are going to change.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, anything that you can do out there, it's a double-edged sword with the email marketing. We're big believers in sending out good messages, and we're big believers in prospecting, but you have to be ready to handle the response. Don't
Yep.
fire this off Friday evening because it's going to create work.
Because everybody's responding.
It's going to create Saturday work for Saturday morning, and you may not want that.
Yeah.
So that's a
Be
good point.
ready for the response. Write that down.
Yeah, be ready for the response. Jen, what else are you hearing from out there in the world? What's your top question, comment from online sales specialists right now? I've got one too that people are asking me.
Um, Really, it's being the disappointment police on, we can't build a home. We are offering, market ready showcase homes,
Mm-hmm.
aka
Mm-hmm.
specs, and explaining that to the customers. But what they're finding is customers like, oh, yeah, that's not going to work for me. They go out and shop around every other builder who's also doing the same thing, and then they end up coming back,
Mm-hmm.
which is why it's so important that we put everybody in and we have a nurturing plan.
That's
Because
right.
if we don't, we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
So that's
shooting
kind of a big
yourself in
one.
the foot. And listen,
Yeah.
it's taken a while for both the consumer and the online sales specialist to metabolize this negativity. Like we got to
Yeah.
kind of just work through this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is a sucky process, but now the process is what the process is. But
Yeah.
one thing I will tell you, it's shifting away from a total seller's market. Everybody give me a thumbs up if you agree. It's shifting away from that seller's market where we had full
Yep.
control, and we have tested the ceiling of pricing. I heard that there's so many sales leaders as I'm walking around in the cocktail reception. A lot of these public builders, right, where normally they're a little bit tight-lipped, but you get a couple of cocktails in them, they just start talking about whatever. And everybody's like, oh yeah, like we've hit the ceiling on pricing, and
Mm-hmm.
we're getting pushback. And also what we're hearing too is if you're making it too hard and creating too much friction, like, oh, you want an appointment? Well, we'll see about that. Are you pre-qualified? Right? Can you meet in 4 weeks? Now consumers are just going, I'm going to go to builder X down the street because they're open for business. They may not
Yes.
have anything to sell, but we've got to give them something to do in the meantime. And we call that,
Yes.
prospect purgatory, whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
somewhere to go, this intermediate
sitting
place.
sitting in the no man's land of an interest list is really what it is. Like, we've got to move people forward and give them a chance to learn about our homes and see our homes.
Right,
Oh,
right. Diana's asking, what are you saying to people who register multiple times a day? It's super easy. Write this down. Great question. 2 words. Stop it. No, you got to have stuff.
we
Just
got
realize
you.
that you sometimes don't have to say anything. I mean, people
Yeah.
know they're getting on the list. They're just trying to hope that some list somewhere, somehow, some magical way, this is
We've
gonna,
got you. Chill.
just say, hey, thank you for registering for the 47th time. Not necessary. You're good. The other thing that we're starting to hear is the pushback on pricing. Okay, so that's the
Mhm.
one thing I'll leave you with, unless there's any other questions. Um, Online sales specialists need to be ready to hear this pricing thing. Jen, I don't know if you've been following the news, but we're in the industry. I don't know if you guys are all following the news, but what has the media grabbed onto? And I'm asking everybody who's tuning in, see if you can answer. We'll give an award for someone who answers this first. When we're talking about price increases in housing and homes, what is the number one thing that everybody's talking about? What is the number one thing everybody's talking about? So go ahead and let's see if they know. I know a little bit of a delay in the stream on getting the answers. Jen, do you know what the answer is? Oh, Robin with the
I
win.
think so.
Anytime it's a contest, Robin will be first. Robin, you got
Lumber.
contest,
Yeah.
right? You guys got it. Look at these smart people. Lumber, lumber,
Yeah.
lumber, lumber, lumber. 4 months of terrible, terrible lumber memes, right? Yes, Robin, you're always winning something.
But
Um,
Mike, now lumber's down.
exactly. Hey, so lumber's down 40%. Isn't my home
Yeah.
going to be down 40%? And even though they may not say it that way, it's just like we're not going to go into. Let's get into a quick economics lesson on lumber futures. First of all, lumber futures doesn't mean lumber prices. Okay, so just so you guys know, lumber futures doesn't mean lumber prices. Second of all, if you think about futures, airlines buy oil futures all the time for jet fuel, and when oil futures go down, the ticket doesn't go down, right? There's a million other things stuff, and while yes, like framing lumber might be down a little bit, OSB's still up, plywood's still up, everything's still up. Not to mention lumber, framing,
Yeah.
labor, everything that goes into it. And so, what you want to explain to your customer is, hey, so lumber prices are down, and aren't the prices of homes gonna come down? Your response is very simple, and we always use disruptive statements. Man, I sure hope so. Unfortunately, where we're at right now, we were trying to catch up with price increases. Now that things have leveled out, we hopefully won't see anymore, but that's not a guarantee because there are so many other things. In fact, steel, copper, everything else that's involved. We have problems getting doors for our homes, windows, or having
Windows,
appliances for customers who are
appliances.
closing.
Yeah.
So there's all these components that make up a home. Lumber is just a big piece of it. So that will help ease any further price increases. But as of right now, what you see will probably stay close to the same. And that's all you got to say. Do
Yeah.
we hope that pricing will go down? Yes. Yes. Or is the bubble about to burst? We're hearing that one. Bobby, our most active Facebook commenter today. Thank you, Bobby. Or they're basically saying, are you trying to time the market? Don't you think the housing bubble is going to burst? Well, I mean, we're not really in a bubble, but if you're trying to time the market, go for it. Like,
Yeah.
you can try to time the market, but can you time it to where it works out with interest rates? And do you have a home to sell? So I think this is the biggest thing, full circle. Sorry, Jen, I'm getting a little amped up. Are you okay?
No,
Are you doing
I'm
okay?
good. Go for it. Go for it.
When you're talking to a customer, your job is not to convince them to buy a home right now, right? In fact, you can say to them, and this will disarm them really quick, if you don't have to buy a home right now, maybe you shouldn't. But if you want and need to buy a home right now, you still have fantastic interest rates on your side. And that buffers so much of this other craziness that's happening. But if interest rates go up 1.5 points, that's like adding 15, 20% to your monthly payment, no matter what the prices are. So
Right.
you just really have to ask yourself, as someone who's searching, do I need to buy right now? If you do, buying with us is going to be great. It's way better than buying used, because you want to talk about overpriced. Oy, that
And
stuff's
bidding
overpriced and the
wars and
carpet's
all kinds of
terrible.
stuff.
So
Carpets.
online sales, I want you all there not to be sitting there caught flat-footed when you hear these things on calls and on emails.
Yeah.
You need to be ready. You need to be smart, right? You got to make sure that you understand what's going on in the market. And here's one I say nicely to everybody. You got to read the real estate news. You got to talk to your lenders. You need to talk to your purchasing department because they've got all this fun information. So if you're not the best in the world, we can always get better. That's what Seth Godin says, and that's what I'll say here at the end. Jen, close us out. We've had a great Facebook Live. I've really enjoyed it. My favorite live I've done all week. It's been my favorite one.
No, I mean, I think this has been so great, guys. Just, like Mike was saying, don't put your head in the sand, right? You've got to be, and if you're hearing these things, whatever you're hearing, whatever trends you're hearing, pay attention to them. Go get help with leadership on how to best tackle them, right? So that you are prepared. You don't ever want to get caught off guard with what to do. You are a sales professional, right? 52% online sales contribution, making a huge impact out there, right? So continue being awesome.
All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Real quick, be sure to sign up on doyouconvert.com for our email newsletter. You'll get all the greatest and latest free fun stuff. We've got Market Proof Marketing Podcasts. If you're not tuning into that, you're missing out. We've got all of our Facebook Live. You got Jen's opt-in. We've got a lot of content flowing, and to make sure you don't miss a single thing, make sure that emails coming into your inbox and not landing in your spam folder. We appreciate all of you. If you like this, smash the heart button. Like and subscribe. All my kids watch those videos with those people. Be sure to like and
Like and
subscribe.
subscribe.
Like and subscribe. All right, we'll see you guys. Have a great week.
See you guys.